What's going on, guys? Cody from Motorcycle MD, and in this video we're going to be changing out some tires by hand. You're close. Ouch! As well as making sure that the braking system and the bearings and everything that goes along with the front and rear end of this bike is how it should be. So we can make it safe and as reliable as an MT125 can be for the customer to enjoy out on the road. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. The systems on this thing are pretty much as basic as you can get when it comes to a street bike. Drum brakes, inner tube tires, some bearings and cables. That's it. Enjoy. It moved a little bit, but she's locked up in there, that axle. Put our castle nut back on, protect our threads, put our socket over top of the axle nut. Castle nut might be worthless after this. I'd rather damage the castle nut than the axle. Must be locked around the bearings, not the spacer. So for safety, I'm gonna lock this side of the bike in with ratchet strap. Okay. It's definitely making its way out. Let's just see if we can't use a punch. This end is hollow, so it's coming. It's just being stubborn. What was that? Whew. Yeah, there's a lot of corrosion in there. Now it's locked up around our spacer. We're almost out. Kind of. Let me put this back in here real quick. What a fight. Yeah, your rear tire replacement costs $400. Want to know why? I don't think you want to know why. I had to beat it into submission. I hope we can save this axle. That's what I hope. There we go. Gnarled it up a little bit. We can use a thread chaser and get that all cleaned up. You bastard. Honda shoes. Still working. A little sticky. Shoes are staying on there. That's good. Bearings are shot. Stops right there. Alright, so I got a new tire on this thing. We're going to replace the bearings on this. There we go. It moves a little bit, you know. It moves a little bit. This side, it feels like rocks on the driveway. Gonna get a new seal for it too. We cleaned it up. Turned out good. Anyways, now that this rear tire is out, fresh rubber, the Golden Boys, can't go wrong with them. They're not too bad. So you guys might have saw, I boogered those threads up, right? On the end from you trying to use a punch to get in here on this hollow part and bang this axle out. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. This is nothing new, okay? I'm just talking about tools that have helped me in my career and continue to help me, hopefully for decades to come. You can use this thing on like big threads, like big axle threads. Maybe you don't have a tap and die set that can go up to this big, but I love this thing. And it's got, this is probably this is a Snap-on brand one, right? You want a good quality one because this has to eat and cut through threads, right? But they have different numbers on here. 1.75, that's the thread that you're trying to cut on, right? So if I use a thread gauge, something like this, I can get an idea of where we're at, right? And mind you, this is like basic stuff, guys. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel right now, but you can use these. And what I've always known was you know you're on the right one when all of the teeth align down into the thread, right? Yeah, all of the teeth fit in there, good. 1.50. So on our tool, there's 1.5 right here. So you got to keep where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to accidentally fold over, and now you're going to do a 1.0, and they'll screw the whole thread up. But anyways, take this, and you can find the spot where you might have chewed into it, and like this is how it should feel, right? Nice clean thread. You can go a little bit of an angle, but it's very forgiving. It's very forgiving. So you can find a spot that and just kind of chase into it. Like that's good. That's good. That's good. A little bit rougher right here. I'm not trying to, you know, get brand new threads out of this thing. We're just trying to clean them up. I don't know. It's just a cool tool that I've used in the past, and I thought I'd share it with you if you've never seen one before. Alright, let's see where we're at. Just that quick succession. I mean, that's by hand, guys. Anyways, quick little show. Anything like small threads, I think it's kind of a waste of time. You can just tap it or use a die. But save the axle. Crusty. Double crust. A little bit more goop. Alright, so now we got to take care of this entire front end. These fork seals have been leaking all over my bench for a month now. Oil is completely saturated all down the fork. It's all over this thing. We're going to put a new tire on this thing, new tube, and new front bearings, and check the drum brakes out and lube all that kind of stuff up along with our tack cable there. It would be really great if this axle did not fight us. Oh yeah. Alright, so we gotta work on this front brake drum system. We gotta get this thing apart. Some parts have already been falling out. This is attaches to the front hub of the tire and spins along with it and spins the gear down inside of there. All that grease. I mean, it's likely fine. You know, it's old and it's stiffened up a lot. And if you want to go through the hassle of just clearing all of that nasty... I can't even get this thing back out again. All of that old grease that's in there, it's real hard. You can spend all the time you want in getting all of this stuff out. I'm going to get the majority of it out, and I'll put some fresh stuff in there, some regular synthetic grease. We'll clean this thing all up. I took the cable actually just fell out of our drive unit right here, our drive cable. It's a long sprung cable. I'll show you it right here. I've had it soaking in my parts tank, just getting off whatever buildup has been on it. You can just soak these in oil once you clean them all up and just send it right back up into the hole, all the way up. And there's a square end on it, and it will meet with your tack, and you can kind of feel it like that's right, and that's going to be the end that will attach down into here onto this gear. It's very self-explanatory. I took the screw out of there to pull this out, so this is good. You can lube this up and dry it out. So that spins nice and free. A lot of times those don't ever see any oil at all, and then they'll break and then you don't have a tack anymore. So this is a problem that we got to solve here. You can see this thing is just nasty. Springs of the brake shoes don't even respond back. Okay, so we have to take this off all the way apart, get all this stuff all cleaned up. Brake shoes are fine. I'm going to clean these all up with all my dirty hands that are all over them. A little bit of glazing and a little shininess to them, but they're not falling off. I trust them completely, and they're going to stop the bike as they need to. So just clean these up with some contact cleaner. If you want to do a little sandpaper on them to rough them up, you can do that as well. It's nothing too crazy. It's a front drum brake, okay? But yeah, we're just going to get these cables off of here completely. If now would be the good time to use some cable lube and working on how well these things will actually do work. You can try to save the boot as much as you can. You can strongman these brakes off. I'm not replacing the seal that's right here, but there's a lot of grime that builds up underneath it. Kind of see that black and very thick grease. If you wanted to rebuild this completely and get you a nice fresh seal, if it's even available, be my guest. But typically these things live in grease and they're usually fine. Just gonna set up a little tray. I can toss some parts in with some gas. I don't care what cleaners you buy, gasoline is pretty awesome. We gotta kind of pry this guy off of here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a master spline. It's kind of hard to put these things on wrong. Back onto here. And I'm just gonna try to hand clean this whole thing, okay? I don't want to put this in my tank because I don't want to mess the seal up or just screw with the rubber compound that it is. It's fine. The seal's gonna be fine. Getting this hard crap off will be a little bit difficult, but just take your time. Use a cleaner, use gas, use some rags, and get to work. Clean, clean, clean. It's pretty clean. All right, so let's piece this thing back together. So we gotta get some grease. It's just some all-purpose synthetic grease. Marine grade, if that's even a thing. I feel like it's just like a selling tactic. Some grease inside of there. I'm gonna push this guy through. What I don't remember, which is my fault, is which way the master spline faced, but we can figure that out pretty quickly. Try to keep as much grease out from the inside of this as possible. So I know that the master spline was kind of over here, which makes sense for that. We had a dust seal. I forgot to show you guys that. Just going to put that right back in there. Our arm has that master spline right. Oh, we need this first. Let's line it back up. Same with you. Okay, let's go ahead and get some grease inside of here. Just going to glob some in there. Kind of wipe it on the inside of this seal. Not trying to pack it in full, but we just need some grease in there. Same with our new clean gear. It's actually not new, but it's clean. Sometimes there's a metal shim underneath these, and this one does not have one, so that's okay. Push that down in there, get some spin action going. So I'm pretty sure we were like that. I could be wrong, we'll find out. But gotta use some brute strength. There we go. Butter. That's how it should be. Now I just gotta replace the seals here. We're gonna put some fresh bearings in this as well. You can see when we go to install this rim where that has to line up with that gear that was on the inside of here. So it has little feet on there. Just make sure you line that up. Kind of tricky to get it lined up, but that's what you have to do for the wheel to spin that gear. Let's get these bearings out, get a fresh tire and tube on here, and this thing should be all back together in about 3 seconds. I'm actually able to sneak in a new outer spoke here that was missing. Didn't need too much truing up, just tightened everything up and it was good to go. Hey, buddy. I know. Got to make sure that you use your Gold Bond Maximum Strength Foot Powder, anti-itch, and methanol 1%. That's pretty crucial when it comes to tube installation. We want maximum strength itch protection to ensure that our tube is comfortable. Now I've installed tires two ways. One, getting the tire on first, and then inserting the tube. And second is installing the tube first in our tire. I don't know which one's easier. I'm kind of trying to learn to do this way more. Do I have fancy tire? Bro, what are you doing? Oh, I just spilt it all. Get that valve stem in there. There's one. Bro, what are you doing? Does anybody else, when you get onto your knee, you like pinch a nerve and it just stings like crazy? Am I the only one? It's done it my entire life. A little zinger. Relax, girl. Just relax. Everything's okay. Come on now. Ouch! My poor fingers. Too much air in it? Why is this thing so tight? Where did that? Oh man, I pinched my fingers so bad. You're close. Ouch! Oh, I did it twice. Just go. Thank you. Oh, oh, my poor hands. I seem to have installed the cable hold on backwards over here. Whoops. So that would make way more sense, wouldn't it?